A Florida family wants to know why their loved one is dead and why the person responsible has not been identified or even arrested. Joining us right now is attorney Ben Crump. He represents Ajike Owens, who was shot through a door while trying to retrieve an iPad that her neighbor took after her child left it behind. Ben, so explain to us what the hell happened here?
It's jaw-dropping when you think about, again, Roland Martin, we have another African-American citizen knocking on a door, and a white citizen shooting through the door, through a metal door, and killing this 35-year-old mother of 4 in front of her children. It is just so god-awful that these children witnessed their mother being killed because they were playing on the field. A white woman kept complaining over and over again, saying racial epithets to those children, and they left the field. Her son left his iPad. The white woman took the iPad. He came to get it back, and she threw it and cracked the iPad. He went and told his mother. His mother came, and several witnesses say she knocked on the door 4 times, banged on the door, said, "I know you hear me," and boom, gunshot.
So the kids were it was a nearby park?
No, the lady lived in a quadruplex apartment. The open field was next to her apartment. They lived across the street in a duplex in a small town called Ocala, Florida. And several neighbors said this woman would always complain about the children playing in the open field, and they were just dumbfounded why the lady thought that was her field. And so it makes no sense why she would call them racial epithets, little N-words, and so forth on previous occasions, and the children say on that day. And the fact that she would then take that young child's iPad, and then when they come in to retrieve it, throw it and crack it. But what makes no sense is why she didn't call 911. Why would she shoot through the door and kill this woman for simply coming and knock on her door?
Marion County Sheriff Billy Woods explain why this investigation is taking so much time.
I'm here to assure the family and the friends that my office is going to do everything to bring justice. A lot of the rumors and questions out there have been that we're not doing anything, we're not moving fast enough. A lot of people don't understand how the laws in the state of Florida sometimes works. You know, we only got a part of an initial. When you get to a scene, sometimes you only get one side of the story. And because we want to seek justice and we want to assure that we get the facts right, especially in a case to this level, we just don't take always one side, because it doesn't always paint the full picture. And especially, as I mentioned, we had 2 children, or children, I should say, more than 2, to possibly witness what occurred. Now, we're not cold-hearted bastards that we're going to interview children the night they possibly witnessed their mother being killed. We're going to wait. Not only that, and I'll be the first to admit it, I'm not qualified to interview to that level. So we have to rely on professionals and experts, counselors, to sit down with them. Because how many of you and your viewers out there have seen a child being interviewed who clams up and doesn't want to talk? It becomes difficult. So it's something that we can't immediately and will not immediately do, just because we know what they or have seen what they have gone through. But be assured that when we do interviews, the facts are brought forward. The information is gathered. The pieces of the puzzle are put together so that we can come to justice. And that's what we will come to at the conclusion of this, is justice.
All right, Ben, so when did this actually take place?
This happened at around 9 o'clock on Saturday night. And the leaders in the black community and many of the activists are claiming that the sheriff is trying to create a false narrative. He's trying to come up and say, well, she was threatening the white citizen that the mother went and hit on the window. They said none of that happened, because this is a community where people are outside. They see what happened, and they said she simply came and knocked on the door, and then all of a sudden you heard the gunshot. And so the sheriff trying to say, oh, well, we're getting people saying she's knocking on the window. Nobody in the community has said that. They are saying if anybody would have said that, that would have been the shooter. And they said the sheriff hasn't talked to them, and they're trying to justify an unjustifiable shooting. If she felt in fear of her life, Roland Martin, why didn't she call 911? Why would she shoot through a metal door and kill this lady? She had a peephole. She had a ring camera on her door. She could have simply looked out there. She could have communicated. She could have called 911. She could have did 100 other things than shoot through a metal door, killing this mother of four who was a manager at McDonald's.
Wow. Have you been in contact with the sheriff's department?
My associate attorney, Anthony Thomas, talked with him at length and wanted to know why wouldn't they arrest her? And there was a lot of leaders there with them. And the sheriff kept saying, well, we got to let the investigation take its course. But we know, Roland Martin, had the roles been reversed and you had a black woman shoot through her door, shooting a white woman who was knocking on the door, that there wouldn't have needed to be an exhaustive investigation. She would have been arrested and charged, and she would have got her day in court. And that's all we're asking for, is due process for Ajike Owens and her children. We want this killer to be arrested, and she can make whatever defense she wants. Stand your ground, self-defense, castle doctrine, but she needs to be arrested, because if not, we don't believe the system works equally, because we know what would have happened had a black woman shot a white woman through the door.
Speaking of, obviously you also represent with the family of Ralph Yarl. We showed the video of him out at a walk last week. How is he doing? And of course, he's a young man in Kansas City who was shot. Luckily, he is alive, unlike this woman in Ajike Owens in Florida. So just give us an update on Ralph.
Yeah, very similar tragedies. Ralph is still dealing with a lot of migraines and headaches. They say the bullet fragments are going to be in his head and his brain forever, but he's doing remarkable in the sense that he wants to go to college. He wants to go to college at Texas A&M, and he's striving to get better so he doesn't miss any more school time.
All right, then. Well, Ben, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. Keep us abreast of both of these cases.
Thank you so much, Roland. More than you know for covering this matter.
All right. Thanks a bunch.